morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Monday, February 13th. It's good to have you with us. And you know, the month of February, besides being the month of Valentine's Day, it's also eating disorder. It hosts Eating Disorder Week, which is the last week of February. And I want to introduce you to an RN from McCallum Place, Danielle Woods. Good to have you here.
Good to see you.
Now, McCallum Place deals with eating disorders.
Yes,
right?
we do. We're right across from Women's and Children's Hospital, and we treat eating disorders here in Missouri.
And you wanted to talk about the problem of eating disorders because we were talking before we came on. There are a lot of people, especially, I guess, in the Columbia area, that do deal with eating disorders. A lot of kids.
Absolutely. So about 50% of high school age kids have some sort of unhealthy behaviors around eating and dieting.
You're telling me that half of the kids who go to high school.
Yes, surveys done by the National Eating Disorder Association say that about half of high school age kids are overly concerned with weight, dieting, and doing something unhealthy in order to control their weight, whether that's skipping lunch, over-exercising, chewing gum instead of eating when they're hungry. Pretty scary.
Mainly women or men?
So it's interesting. It is a scotch more popular in women, but much more popular in men than we think. It's really underreported from males because they're afraid to step up and say that they have something because it's considered a woman's disease, but it's not.
Why do you think we have such a problem?
Well, I think it's a mix of things. Certainly there is a biological component to eating disorders, but I think that social media and this constant barrage of unhealthy things coming into our minds. We were talking about Lady Gaga on the Super Bowl halftime show and sort of the negative attention that she's gotten about her stomach and getting those negative messages about our bodies just full time.
I can't even imagine that. There were a lot of negative comments about her stomach during the performance of the Super Bowl.
That's right. Just this normal abdominal skin that we all have. People saying negative things about her having a pooch. So when we're getting those sort of messages about our bodies and what they need to look like in order to have approval 24 hours a day on social media, it's really tough for us to find ways to love our own bodies.
Okay. So what are you doing about eating disorders in McCallum Place?
So we have treatment there for 12 and over, both men and women. We have 3 different programs. We also have a free support group, which is Tuesday nights, first and third Tuesday of the month at 6:15 at our center. We're also doing for Eating Disorder Awareness Week, which is the last week of February, same week as True False, which starts February 27th. We're having free drop-in assessments for anyone in the community from 9 in the morning to 12 Monday through Friday. So they can come in, talk about community resources, finding a therapist or dietitian, coming into treatment with us, or anything they'd like to talk about. I'm happy to meet with them and do that for free that week.
Now, when you say the free drop-in, do they need to make reservations ahead of time? They just come in?
They can just drop in, meet with me, ask for Danielle, and I'm happy to sit with them and talk about community resources.
Okay, so what time and where?
It is Monday through Friday, that week of February 27th
The last week of February.
Yes,
okay.
sir. And it is at McCallum Place, which is 3215 Wingate Court, right across from Women's and Children's Hospital.
Okay, not far from the Mason Eye Institute in that area.
We're right above that.
Okay, all right. And phone number for more information?
573-256-0100.
And you try to get the message across to people that we don't all have to have those perfect bodies. It's okay to be who we are.
Absolutely not. I'm a big fan of loving your body just as it is. I'm not a fan of diet culture. I think that we all need to embrace exactly how we look and the great things that each of us have, because we're all different, and that's beautiful and perfect.
Right. And if somebody's got a problem with your body, it's their problem, not yours.
Paul. I love that.
It's
nice
their problem, not yours. Hey, Danielle, please come back again.
Always.
Okay? From McCallum Place. Good to have you here.
Good to you.
Now we turn to the Jeff City Little Theater down in Jefferson City. And we've got Brian Harper. Good to have you here, Brian. And Joe Schneider. It's a pleasure to have both of you here. You're going to tell us about the production called It Runs in the Family, right?
Yes.
What is It Runs in the Family about?
It concerns my character, Dr. David Mortimer. He is at the peak of his success. It's the day he's giving a big speech. It's going to make him a knight. It takes place in England. And he had an affair 19 years ago.
Oh, and that's going to come back to haunt him?
And the woman who he had an affair with comes back that day to say, by the way, surprise, we have a son. And then,
Is this like Dynasty?
somewhat less money, but very similar.
Okay.
Less shoulder pads, really.
Yeah.
Joe plays my son, who I, of course, don't want anyone to know, especially my wife, who is there. To
Wait a
know
minute,
that I
is
have
this
a son.
the son from the woman that you had the affair
Yes.
with?
Yes. And I am trying to hide it from my wife, the Lord who's there to introduce me and help me do this giant speech, and so it is pretty much about 2 hours of me trying to tell everyone a different story. I tell you one story, I tell Danielle a story, I tell Joe a story about who this person is, never saying, oh, by the way, this is my son. And then in Act 2, it sort of all falls apart.
So what, Joe? What's your character's name?
His name is Leslie Tate.
So how does Leslie Tate feel about his real father not accepting or telling people that you're his son?
Well, Leslie doesn't even know who his father is until the very end of the show.
Oh, so Leslie doesn't know that he's your father.
David even tries to hide it from Leslie by saying that in one example, he's a priest. And it's astounding how many fibs he comes up with just to keep his own image intact.
Yeah, his pristine image that he has. Would you call this a comedy?
Oh, yes.
A comedy drama, maybe?
No, it's pretty much just a comedy. It's more of it's sort of a comedy / farce. It's got a lot of doors opening, doors closing. There's someone gets injected with a drug that knocks them out by mistake, so we have to hide
the body.
Well, yes, the unconscious person. She
Right.
gets wheeled around and hidden a lot, and it's a lot of trying to cover my CYA.
Okay, all
Trying
right.
to see my CYA my story and let no one find out that he's my son. I convinced my best friend to say that he's the dad instead. And
Now, when is this running?
it is the 15th, 16th, and 17th of February.
Okay.
And all the performances are at
Is
7:30
that
at
a
night.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay.
7:30 at night.
And then Sunday matinee?
No, just the
no
three
Sunday
performances,
matinee.
no. We only do matinees for the musicals. We don't do for the plays.
Okay. Is it only running one weekend?
Yes, just 1 week.
One weekend. Okay. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday. For ticket information, what do you call?
And that's why I'm old and can't remember it. It is 573-681-9400 is
Okay.
the ticket line, or they can go online to TLTJC.org.
Okay.
is our
And you can
website.
buy your tickets online.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jefferson City Little Theater. Pleasure having you, both of you here.
you.
And good luck with all of your lies that you're telling there. All right. We're out of time for today. Tomorrow we've got music on from Central Methodist University. If there's something you would like to hear or see, I would love to hear from you. Just drop me an email. That's pepperp@missouri.edu. Our program directed by Travis McMillen, Reynolds Journalism Institute, audio Pat Akers, KBIA, floor director Lowell Thomas, and our assistant producer and guest coordinator, Uncle James Mauser. Bye-bye.